Hey everybody, it's Dusty and Elizabeth at Marshall's Marital Musings, and yeah, we know you haven't seen a video from us in a while, and that's well, that's okay. Life has happened. Since the last video we made to upload to our YouTube channel, we were still in Fort Worth, Texas. Unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you look at that, we're no longer there. We're in Alamogordo, New Mexico. I'm now pastoring a small church called New Life Baptist Fellowship. Liz is teaching ESL to children in China through online services through a company called VIP Kids. And I'm still running my own small business called Smiling Foamworks for the LARP community. Life has gotten interesting, and I'm sure for most of you it's gotten even more interesting because of the COVID-19 pandemic that's going on right now. Most of us are secluded into our houses, isolated, quarantined. Take all the terminology that you want to use at the moment, and some of those things are happening right now. Some of the states have already declared no more gatherings over 10. I know California has already said that they put out an order to stay at home unless you have to go out for essential stuff like groceries, sick to go to the doctor, to hospital, or to pick up medication from your pharmacist. So things have gotten crazy, but it's caused us here as well to stay home. Our governor's asked if anybody's traveled out of state to stay in your homes, quarantine yourself for at least 14 days. And I just traveled out of state and came back like 6 days ago.
Less than. He came home Sunday, and the day that we're filming this is Thursday. So we're going to hang out here for about 10 more days, and it's going to be fine.
So why are we making this video for Marshall's Marital Musings? Well, we're talking about marriage, and we're stuck in a house together with 3 kids, all under the age of 10. So we got time. We need to say and do something before we go crazy. But it also gives us a chance to talk to you guys about what does that look like in your marriage? What do you do? I'm sure some of you are going, we don't know how to handle this. We're used to one of us always being out of the house, and we only have a few hours a day together. Then we go to bed, then we wake up, and we do it all over again until the weekend. So now what? Well, that's what we're here for. Kind of give you a little bit of advice, or at least let you into our lives and hear some of the things that we've been doing and what we've been going through. So it's allowed us to shut down a little bit and get to know each other again. And I know that may sound weird because we're married and we're living in the same house, but I'm getting to see a lot of the stuff that Liz goes through as a homeschool, as a homeschooling mom, and what she does as a work from home individual at the same time, while I've been out of the house, either doing sermon prep or working at the shop building all of our product that we have for Smiling Foamworks. All those things that I've been doing, she's still here working as well. So we don't really get to see what each other does. And now, for lack of better words, I'm in her environment. And apparently I like to joke a lot. And she thinks it's hilarious.
No.
A lot.
Not so much.
So this is what we wanted to talk to you guys about. Like, how do you do that? One thing for us is we've made it a point right now that we're not just going to sit on our couch and eat our dinner or eat our lunches and watch TV with the kids and everything else. We've purposely made ourselves go to the dining table, and we're eating there with our family. It's causing us to talk to one another, to just communicate and ask questions. And our son, he has so many questions he likes to ask and hear and everything else. And so obviously the hot topic right now is, well, why are we stuck in the home? Why can't we leave? Or why are we not going anywhere like we normally do? And we're trying to explain some of those things right now. You have an individual like me that has asthma, and unfortunately it's severe asthma. I've almost died from pneumonia before. I've almost died from asthma attacks before. So it can be a very serious thing to look at. And so we're just being overly, cautious, and I'm okay with that. I'd rather be overly cautious and there's actually no need for it than to be underly cautious and there was a need for it, and then you're just talking to Liz on the camera and she's talking about how weird I used to be, and that's all you got. So in that, this is where we are. So what do you do at your home? How do you deal with these things? Where do you go? What do you learn? And it's caused me and Liz to talk to each other a little bit more. It's caused me to goof off a little bit more. But we get to, I don't know, not to sound corny or cliche, but we kind of get to fall in love even more or all over again. Um, I remember when we first met in college, I tried to convince her to come and help me clean my apartment. And all of my friends at the dinner or at the cafeteria said no, and she didn't want to go either. She thought it was very weird, and now she's married to me. So maybe I have something up my sleeve. I don't know. But now we're working together. We've been unpacking boxes. We've been trying to organize our house here in New Mexico that we moved into. So it's a lot of different things going on, trying to figure out what our next steps are. How do we kind of handle the kids now that both of us are in the house at the exact same time? Um, I'm kind of quick sometimes to snap at the kids very quickly if there's disciplinary action. Um, but at the same time, Liz will catch in and has had a way that how she disciplines and does things here at the house as well. So we're trying to figure out a balance of not to overstep or make each other feel, I guess, inferior or that we've been doing things wrong when it comes to parenting.
It's a good way to put it. Yeah. And for me tonight, we were sitting down for dinner, and I was looking at the kids, and I looked at Dusty, and I thought, I don't know what to ask him while we're sitting here at dinner, because normally this is the time of day that I ask, how was your day? What did you do? How was work? And he would be asking the kids, what did you learn in school today? And what have you been doing? But he was here for all of it. He was listening in. He was chiming in and participating. He's been helping out. There's some subjects that the kids have to do some individual work with, and some stuff we do group work. So he's been helping me tag team some of that individual work so we can get done a little bit quicker and move on to the things we'd rather do. So it got me thinking, now is the time to start asking different questions, stuff that maybe we've forgotten about. Maybe asking if opinions or perspectives or ideas have changed over the course of the time that we've been together over the last 15 years or so. So you might be thinking, well, how do I even come up with those ideas? How do I even figure out what to ask? And something that I saw come across my Pinterest feed probably 6 months or so ago was a blog post about first date 20 questions. And you can Google these, and you can find these on Pinterest and stuff. And it might be fun. Look these up and pull a couple out throughout the day while you're quarantined and confined, and just say, hey, let's ask a couple of these questions, and don't just throw random answers out there off the cuff, but really think about it and think, have my opinions changed? Is my favorite color still my favorite color? Has my thought on what my favorite food is changed? Has my taste changed in things? Maybe your perspective has changed since you become a parent. I know I used to really enjoy certain types of TV shows, murder mystery type things, and now as a parent, I'm finding that I have a hard time stomaching some of those things that we used to watch, because I'll sit down and watch some of it and I'm like, wow, my 9-year-old's in the other room and he doesn't need to be listening to this. So it's not just the time to explore who your spouse is, but to explore who you are, and to see where your perspectives have changed over the course of the years. So
yeah, I mean, if there's anything that I've learned through just the past few days and everything we've been talking about, all this stuff, and we've run into complications and trying to figure things out. So a few things that I've learned is, one, my wife doesn't have a second favorite color. I didn't know that. So she just said purple one day, and so I've made it stick with her. But the other things too is, we kind of had to figure out who we are and what we're going to do, and that not only concerns our marriage, but also concerns the ministry that God's called us into, like a New Life right now. We can't hold services, and so, or at least face to face in person services. So we're trying to brainstorm things to do that. We're probably gonna be live streaming sermons, and I'm probably gonna do much more online stuff in this fashion here to put out there and help and do devotionals and Bible studies and all those different types of things. It's gonna look different, but we had to figure out how to do that. And originally, my personal thoughts, I was kind of opposed to those things in a church fashion being kind of one of the bigger pieces of how the service would go. And now I'm going, that's kind of one of the only things we've got at the moment. So, and I'm learning more about myself, and we both agree that we're not the same people we were when we first met each other, 15 years ago. Um, we're just we're just not. We've changed, we've grown, we've gone through trials and tribulations, we've had kids, um, and more kids, and then there's a little kid. Uh, so we've had a lot of just transitions in life. So mindsets change, people grow, and things become different. And I feel sometimes in marriages that becomes, a factor that people want to try to separate over is you've changed. You're not the person I married. Yeah, that's that's how life kind of works. You grow and things change and life becomes different. Our bodies change, our eyesights change, our facial hair changes. We start to do things differently, think about things differently. You know, I um, I would venture to say I love Liz now as my wife far more than I ever did when I first met her. And so you grow with one another. And as that change happens and you go through that, you can't just shut it down and go, well, things are different, so I got to move on. But how do you get to know each other and learn those things? And like I said, you start finding out that maybe you don't have the same favorite food you did when you first met, which I'm not sure what my favorite food was when we first met.
Food.
Oh, I like food. Food's good. Feed me. It's fine. Don't feed me fish. That's I'm allergic to it.
That's
It's
fair.
bad. But I mean, I'm sure. I know we had like 1,000 questions, so I can't remember all the stuff we went through to try to figure out favorite candies and favorite colors and favorite sports teams. She's a Packers fan. I'm a Colts fan. I feel sorry for her. It happens. She's a Spurs fan. I'm a Bulls fan. She definitely is depressed because I'm a Bulls fan. I kind of am too. It's okay. Um, so I don't know. Just things are different. Even theologically and ministry wise, we've grown in our faith and we understand things a little bit deeper than what we used to. Um, and we can have a little, I don't know, we can have deeper conversations about Scripture and God and church and things like that than what we ever did in the past. So definitely take these moments to where if you are having to self isolate or you're quarantined or you're in a state that's put you kind of in a shutdown scenario for the next 15 days, or you're following our president's recommendation to stay home as much as possible for the next 15 days, then take these moments to not grind against the differences you two have developed, but to try to learn and understand what those differences are and what makes them unique and how your relationship can blossom from those. Like Liz said, we sit at the dinner table and yeah, usually our conversation, well, how was your day? What did you do? How was the kids? Hey kids, what'd you do? But we've been around each other all day and we sit down and um, we no longer had those conversations. We had I don't know, I thought we had a more meaningful conversation. The kids wanted to talk about things rather than just ask questions. And we wanted to talk about things instead of just ask questions of each other. And that was a pleasant surprise. So that's helped us, and I'm hoping that can help you. But I would definitely suggest your dining table, maybe one of the best places you can start in all of this being around each other so often, just to have some fun, crazy, weird, honest conversations with each other and fall back in love with who you two are and your marriage and what you've been going through in your life. Um, so that's what we've been trying to do anyways.
It's a great time to learn to talk to each other rather than talking at each other. So we hope that this has given you some inspiration and an encouragement in these trying and confusing times. I mean, even with the fear and the questioning and the anxiety over what's happening with the world and with this pandemic, use it as a starting point. Use it as a way to talk to your kids and to talk to each other about how are you feeling now isn't the time to put on a brave face in front of your spouse. Now is the time to be vulnerable with each other. And I have to put on a brave face all the time, but it's okay. Now is the time to just really learn to be vulnerable with each other and talk to each other through this. And so we hope this has been an encouragement. We hope that this has been inspiring. If you have any suggestions on future videos and future topics, please let us know in the comments. Leave us a message there, or shoot us a message on our Facebook page. Don't forget to subscribe so you can see what we have coming up next, and go have some good conversations with each other.
Yep, and don't forget to click that little bell as you subscribe, and that'll give you notifications as we post stuff. So I'm Dusty.
I'm Elizabeth.
And this is Marshall's Marital Musings. We'll talk with you guys some more with some just honest conversations of what marriage looks like in the world today, especially with us as believers just trying to figure it out. So thanks for watching. And like she said, don't forget to subscribe. Have a good one, guys.